Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another apartment renovation. And we're renovating 20 Culpepper House, which I don't believe I have ever renovated before. And if I have, it definitely wasn't on the channel. This is a really big unit. I think this is originally where Raj and his mother live. I think it's where they lived. I can't even recall because I tried to redo this apartment about 4 times before I landed on this layout, which is a little bit wonky. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it was the only way that I could think of kind of divvying things up. There's essentially 2 long hallways, but I just kind of went with it because I didn't really have a choice. And I also want to say that this was built prior to the release of Growing Together. So you're not going to see anything for infants. You're not going to see any of the new objects in the kids' rooms or anything like that. But I had completely forgotten about this apartment and I wanted to make sure that I did share it because it is a pretty big unit. I built it for a family of 6. So we've got 2 parents, we've got 4 kids. Yeah, literally 4 children, like kid Sims. That's what I was going with. We've got 2 bedrooms for the kids, so there are 2 pairs of children that share rooms. I could have described that in an easier way, and I just don't know how. But you can see that the first room that we are working on is the living room. And the living room is not entirely open plan to the kitchen and the dining, but there is an archway, I believe, that separates the 2 spaces, which was really nice. I really like this unit because it has I want to say it's a medium wall height, or is it tall? Ooh, it could be tall. I don't like the tall wall height. The medium wall height I can kind of sort of deal with. But either way, I was able to use the arches from the Cats and Dogs expansion, which I really enjoy. I love those arches. They're just very simple. I like that they have kind of like a rounded accent to them compared to the ones that we have with base game that I frequently use like all the time. But I was really happy that I was able to use them here because I don't get to use them often because I do not build with a medium wall height. I prefer the short wall height. Thank you very much. But I am using a lot of the Dream Home Decorator stuff. This was, I want to say, recorded back in February. I think it was February, and I was using a lot of the Dream Home Decorator modular furniture at the time. So there's definitely a theme going. I was using a lot of these. This isn't technically a console table. I think it's just like cabinetry, but I used it to kind of make a faux console table underneath the television. And since I want to say at least the medium wall height here, I was able to use this bigger TV, which was really nice. And I had this weird little divot over here. So I did put a desk and a bookshelf, which I thought was a nice use of the space. It was a little bit too small to add a bathroom. And I think there's only 2 bathrooms in this apartment. You could, of course, find an opportunity to add another one if you wanted to, because a lot of these rooms are really big. I think you could find a way to do it if you would like. But the living room is pretty much coming together, just adding a few more details here over in this little corner. There was so much wall space to try to work with, and it was really challenging to fill up all that wall space because I've mentioned this before. I have a tendency to try to fill up every space of blank wall with like artwork or other decorations. And when it's a medium wall height or tall wall height, that impulse is 10 times stronger, but I know it doesn't look real or natural in any capacity if I were to decorate like all the way to the ceiling. So I didn't do it, but through this archway is going to be the kitchen, and the kitchen is huge. And I was really happy about that because I don't usually get big kitchens like this. And I figured with a family of 6 in an apartment unit this big, it would work really, really nicely because I had plenty of counter space. I was able to get in a very small island. I probably could have made a bigger one, but I wanted there to be a full dining table as well for everybody to sit at. And you can see here I was trying to make a big island, but I realized that I wouldn't be able to get a dining room table with the 6 chairs there. So I laid that out first, and then I played around a little bit more with the layout of the kitchen itself because it was a bit challenging. It was a little bit hard. I also used more Dream Home Decorator in the kitchen, and I got to use those chairs from the Tiny Living Stuff pack that I basically never use, but I think they matched really nicely with the Dream Home Decorator cabinets and countertops that I ended up using for this kitchen. And I was really liking the look of this apartment at this point. I was a bit hesitant about it once I even finished the living room, even though I did like it. I just thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was maybe too simplistic at the time because I didn't overclutter things. There was just so much space. I I didn't have the ability to do it. I didn't want to clutter up every single inch of this apartment because I thought it would just look like too much. But I found a way to make it look lived in, I think, and still think that it looks really nice. I don't know, and not like over cluttered or anything like that. And it's kind of more of a contemporary style, I'd say, for the main living spaces. You know, the kids' rooms, I just kind of do whatever the heck I want, but the parents' room pretty much resembles, I think, this aesthetic as well. But I am trying to just find decorations to put in these corners. Again, I have a tendency to try to put things in corners because I don't want them to be empty. It just drives me nuts. And I put a plant over there. I just put a piece of artwork on the wall. And then I think I just put like a china cabinet or something, I think, in this little space here. I didn't have too much space to play around with, so I think I just added one and sized it up ever so slightly to make it look like it fit the space a little bit better. And then I ended up cluttering up the kitchen just a little bit, nothing fancy. I put the sink in the little island, which I thought was nice. It separated the space a little bit and kind of gave the island a little bit more functionality, I suppose. And I used the stove from Snowy Escape, which I love because it doesn't have like the lip on the back of it, which I will say, the stove from Growing Together also doesn't have that lip on the back of it, which I greatly appreciate, EA. I do. I freaking love that. It makes it a lot easier to use, I think, in things such as islands. Like if I wanted to put the stove in the island, it would actually work and it wouldn't look weird. You know what I mean? But I am just cluttering things up here, just tossing some things on top of the microwave and adding a few more clutter items just to make this space look very functional and very lived in. I would think with with 4 kids, you would probably have some clutter in your kitchen. You probably have a lot going on. And I also added a coffee maker, and I've been doing this so much, I have to stop, but I love using that shelf from the Cool Kitchen Stuff Pack and kind of like merging it into upperhead cabinets to make it look like the shelf is just on the wall. And I don't really like the artwork on it that much, so I think it works out great. And here is going to be the entryway. I do add a closet because I thought that would be pretty convenient for an entryway. You could kind of like hang up your coat or your winter gear, you know, all that fun stuff. I also added a couple bookcases, the ones from Parenthood, because they fit perfectly in that space. I love those bookcases. I don't use them as often as I did at the time of me doing this build. I was using them all the time in like February. I don't know why, but I was using them a lot, and I love them because they fit together really nicely. They're great. They're a great use of space. Like if you have some space to fill, it's great to use those. And now here is going to be one of the, I would say like the primary bathroom for everybody. Now, I know I could have added another bathroom, but I figured since all the other rooms were really big in this apartment, I might as well make this a big bathroom as well. And I know that other people have done this layout, by the way. I don't lay claim to this layout for an apartment whatsoever. I know I've seen multiple people do a layout similar to this as well, but yeah, I was kind of thinking, you know, how do I also make this a bit more of a challenge if you were to have 6 Sims in here? And I thought having one bathroom for all the kids would kind of present that challenge. Sometimes I want to make things difficult just because why not? I don't know. But I really liked the bathroom. I did. I liked cluttering it up with all that bathroom clutter kit stuff. I did add a hamper in here. Now, I don't recall if I actually add laundry. I don't think I add a washer and dryer in this apartment. So you might want to remove that or add a washer and dryer if you do want to use laundry, but I just added it there really just for decoration purposes. And now these are going to be the 2 kids' rooms as well. Again, I know people have done this layout, but I really liked it. I don't remember where I saw it at one point, but I had seen someone use that kind of awkward space between these 2 areas of the apartment because a lot of people do split up these areas into separate rooms. It makes perfect sense. But I had seen someone put closets there at one point. I really liked that idea, so I thought I'd use it here to kind of separate these 2 bedrooms. And this is going to be one of those bedrooms. I love this room. I was able to use this wallpaper from Dream Home Decorator, I believe, like this very geometric one. I've never used it before in my life, and I used it across the entire room. And I was shocked because I used a few different patterns. You've got the pattern on the rug, you've got the pattern on the comforters, you have the very subtle pattern and leaves on the curtains, and then we have this geometric pattern on the wallpaper. It's a bit much, but they were all subtle enough that it worked. I was just really surprised. Like I despise this wallpaper, by the way, too. I don't really like it. I don't particularly find that I am fond of this wallpaper, but I thought it worked so nicely in this room. And being able to use these curtains from the high school years pack in this swatch in particular, because I'm also not a huge fan of pink. But I don't know. I just loved this room so much. I thought it came together really, really nicely. They have plenty of space. You could add even more kid activities in here if you would like, but I gave them a creativity table. They've got a desk that they can share to do their homework or write in a journal. I gave them that thing from the Pastel Pop kit, the little cork board, because it's really, really cute. They've got a calendar and just some decorations and clutter on top of the desk as well. And I want to say, maybe I don't put it in this room, though I should have. I should have put one in each room, because maybe all of these kids are super into void critters, but I think I put the void critter battle station thing in the other room that I end up making. But I do add a toy chest in this bedroom, I want to say, perhaps even that dollhouse, which I just got rid of, so clearly I didn't keep it. Oh, I did put the void critter thing in here. See, I know myself. I knew that I was considering it, but I just thought it was a really pretty room. I thought it did still match the style of the overall apartment, even though it wasn't following the same exact color scheme, of course, because I just go nuts with color schemes in kids' rooms. It's just too much fun. I can't help it. But I really loved that room. And then this is going to be the other kids' room where I use these curtains from the My First Pet Stuff pack. What a mouthful. I'm not proud of that pack and having used it, but these curtains worked so nicely with this wallpaper and the bed. So I went with this orange and like dark and light blue color scheme. And this rug from Base Game, this swatch was freaking perfect. I had never seen it before in my life. I had never used it. I'd used the rug, not the swatch. And I was just absolutely enthralled by it. And in this room, I ended up going with the chemistry station, which I almost never get to use, as well as adding a lot of like science related decor items. It's a smaller room than the other one, I believe, so it wasn't as cramped as the other one, but they do have their own bookshelf as well. And of course, tons of posters and decorations and toys in the room for them to be able to use and play with. And as always, the kids' rooms that I make, even if they have a certain color scheme, I don't often gender the rooms unless I have a certain family in mind. So it does not matter what combination of children you have. Those rooms and the skill building items, go ahead, wander into the other room if it's not in your bedroom. Do you know what I mean? Like, go ahead and use it. And now this is going to be the parents' ensuite bathroom. So at least they get their own bathroom. The kids get one to share, that big giant one. The parents get their own, even if it's a little bit smaller than that giant bathroom, and their bedroom's a little bit smaller as well. I think the largest room is actually that first kind of like pink and yellow room that I ended up doing, but I do like their bedroom very much. It's very simple. I think it's very calm and cozy and does match the aesthetic of the rest of the apartment as well. And now that I'm watching this back, because it's been so long, I could see a lot of the growing together items working. I think for this aesthetic that I was going for, like I'm missing the mirror, the wall mirror from Growing Together that kind of looks like it has like a woven frame around it. That would have worked so nicely in the parents' room. But you could add that if you'd like as well, if you have Growing Together. And once we're done with the parents' room, that's actually pretty much it for the build too. I think I decorate the hallway ever so slightly. It's just such a long, awkward hallway. So I might put a few pieces of artwork in there, probably another console table, probably a plant or two. I think I add a chess table as well, just to add an additional activity. But there isn't really too much else going on. So I hope you all enjoyed this apartment renovation. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Attention to sound, the one that's coming from your mouth. Don't mean to turn it upside down. I really wanna hear you out. I can't know how it is to be where you you so calmly sit when I'm further my own narrative, catching only part of it. To just be, to really